Sometimes when people come out to our church and they've spent a little bit of time here, they start to wonder, okay, who's in charge? How does your local church work? Who are the leaders? What offices do they hold? Who holds the reins of power and authority in the church? And so we point them to our Constitution and try to describe what it lists. So our church is elder-led. Right now we have 4 elders. That number can change. We have no set number of elders. And we look to Titus chapter 1 and 1 Timothy to look for what ought to be those qualifications of an elder. So we look primarily for a shepherding function with the additional skill of being apt to teach. They need to be mature in the understanding of the gospel, to be able to recognize and refute bad teaching when it comes. And so they have a particular skill in guiding the people of our church to more faith and to more maturity. That said, there are a number of character issues that are listed in Titus and Timothy, and they state that an elder needs to be somebody who is above reproach, somebody who is the husband of one wife, somebody who leads their family well, somebody who is not known as a person giving in to the temptation of drink, or somebody who has an issue with anger or bitterness. We're looking for men who choose to follow Christ and are mature in their walk with God so that they might provide good leadership for the people of our church. So we have elders. No elder is above any other elder. So when we get together in a meeting, not only does majority rule, but decisions are made unanimously. If anybody has a question or a concern in the middle of an elder meeting, we stop and work that out so that we are speaking with one voice in the decisions that we make regarding the church. Then we have places for deacons and deaconesses. Again, their requirements, their characteristics are listed in Titus and Timothy as well. They have also the need to be above reproach. They have similar qualities, but their role is as a servant. They are taking up some of the more practical tasks in the church so that the elders might give themselves to prayer and to the study of the Word of God. All are ministering in the church. Some are taking on the priority of the Word of God in prayer, and others are taking on the priority of caring for the business aspects, the property upkeep, all of those things. We bookkeeping. So those are the kinds of things that together we minister God's grace. So most of what we have, if you happen to come out to our church and you are interested in this sort of thing, or you were thinking about joining the church, we would give you a copy of our Constitution. It describes several things that I'd point out real quick. We have an annual meeting. It's always, unless weather prohibits, it's always the third Sunday in January, which means weather is likely to prohibit on occasion. All members can vote. The meeting is open, so anybody can come, but the members are the ones who vote. These are people who have committed to our church. They agree with our doctrinal statement. They agree with our Constitution and how we would lead the church. And so those are the people who help vote on things like the financial report, things like goals for the future, and they're the ones who make motions and recommendations for direction in our church. So that's at our annual meeting. Our Constitution includes how to be a member. That description includes our doctrinal statement, what we believe. It includes a section on accountability, so that if sometimes a believer will begin to wander from the faith, begin to not come out as often, begin to question things that they had previously firmly committed to, or they begin to live a life that's making decisions that will get them into trouble. And so our Constitution talks about Matthew 18 and the need to run and rescue that person and bring them back from the brink, to rescue somebody who's wandering from the truth and to cover over a multitude of sins. And so that's a part of our Constitution as well. What's interesting is there aren't any lengths of any terms for deacons, deaconesses, or elders. We don't want to wear an elder out. We want him to serve as long as he is qualified and as long as he has a desire. Sometimes because of the busyness of the moment or because of a family or work situation, an elder will step back for a while and take care of business where business needs to be taken care of, and then they will become an elder again if they still have the desire. Sometimes, but what we don't want to do is cut out the person who is well qualified and has a desire. We don't want to have him stop ministry in that position because it's April and we need to elect new people. So we don't want to wear our people out, but we give them freedom to stay as long as they desire to be in that slot ministering and as long as they remain qualified. All of us have the desire in the end to help in the pursuit of the gospel cause, to partner in the Great Commission in order to see our local church be everything that it can be in reaching out into the community and into our families, but also reaching out around the world. So that's our desire together. Whatever we do in the end, it's not about us. The chief end of man, according to the Westminster Confession, is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. And it is my personal goal. Sometimes I do a better job than others, but I'd like to make even our business meeting a worship service, because the financial report is actually a record of how God has provided and what we've been able to invest in for the glory of God. Our elders report is a description of the things that we've been able to accomplish in the last year. People who have come to know Christ, people who have been baptized, people whose decisions and activity are noted in the elders report, and a cause for all of us to rejoice. That's what we want out of an elders meeting. So we don't look for rancor, we don't look for yelling and shouting and as sometimes things break down to be. But man, if you can walk out of a church business meeting encouraged and wanting to be more like Christ, well, then you found something. So every year, we might not always hit there like we'd like, but that's our goal, so that everyone can see that our goal is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever.